Welcome to another Hope, Power, and Healthcare with Chris Hemphill and
Melissa Reilly, the recovering Melissa Reilly.
oh my goodness, recovering from what happened, fam?
Well, thank you for the kind gift. I got one of those like weird head colds this week. I'm still not sounding my total great self, happy self, but I feel a lot better than Monday. That is for sure. Like, I don't know if it was a combination of allergies or what, but it was a lot. And I was like mostly off camera for as much of the week as I could be.
Well, gosh, when you said you were cold, down, and out, because, like, you're more reliable than the Postal Service when it comes to, like, rain, hail, sleet, or snow, we're always going to go. So when I got that message from you, I was like, the gift was Uber Eats delivery, and I was hoping that you'd buy the best soup. So what did you end up getting?
I got some Panera. I don't know if it's the best soup, but it was certainly the most thoughtful soup of the week.
Okay, good. Panera, they got that good mac and cheese. Like, I know where you're coming from with that.
I like their chicken noodle. Panera, please sponsor us. I would love that.
Yeah, they owe us money. Like, this is our forward deployed advertisement for them. We advertise, and they hear about it and they pay us.
Have soup will podcast for soup.
That's really the market we're switching to. And speaking of forward deployed, there are a couple of topics that we have on the radar today. One being this big proliferation of the forward deployed engineer job concept. This is something that was started in 2011 by Palantir, not endorsing them or anything that they stand for or anything like that, but it's a very interesting shift in the market. So we're going to get into that and what's behind this 800% increase in job postings in tech, where we're hearing about all the layoffs and things like that.
Did I ever tell you that I was, like, in one of my roles actually collaborated with Palantir?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a potential partnership where, shouldn't say any further, but like, had an opportunity to meet with them before I totally really knew how big they would be. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. So when was that?
If I tell you, then you'll be able to figure out like which NDA I'm violating right now.
HIPAA violation here in terms of companies. And another big story.
I was going to say, but I haven't heard the word forward deployed engineer as often as I think you have been hearing it. So I am excited to chat a little bit more about like its implications for the world.
Let's dig in on that. And also another, I think a major shift is OptumRx moving from this traditional PBM structure to a fee-based structure. I think that's extremely exciting and telling of times to come. So thought that those would be two big overall topics that we could ramble on about for several hours.
Perfect, but we won't have any hot takes, right? No hot takes.
I think all the takes will be warm and well-informed.
And soupy, if you will.
Yes. Warm like the chicken noodle soup from Panera.
Amazing.
Please sponsor. Please give us money.
It's like a theme for the month. Please give us money.
So to kick it off, the reason I was really interested in this Optum this Optum news is because like we're seeing an example of a type of transformation the healthcare system can make with PBMs. Now this like pharmacy benefit management, like this concept, it just seemed like something that you could explore so deeply, spend hours on watching Eric Bricker videos on trying to learn and still not understand the concept, because these concept of cost spreads and rebates and discounts and things like that all just seemed so like so many moving parts. So it was exciting a few years ago whenever Mark Cuban started this cost plus. This cost plus organization that said, hey, we're going to just do a simple cost plus some percentage markup that is transparent, and that's the price. Then I think there were a couple of years back, or maybe a year back, there was the Trump RX follow-on, and the moves and legislation around price transparency in this way, and I think we're starting to see some shifting. And of course, not an endorsement on Trump. I'm just stating the little lineage here.
The history, yeah, just going through the history.
Yeah. But shoot, with your experience, like deeper experience in the payer space and having been at Optum and all that, what is your warm and well informed take?
Well, I think it feels like this idea of price transparency is somewhat of a movement, I guess now we could call it. And I think what it counteracts is the organizations like the payers and the PBMs who've been making money for years in the opacity between what they pay for the drug prices and then how they move them through the benefit design. So for me, it's like a simple example is, let's say, like, the manufacturer makes the drug for $1. The middlemen pass it over, and then ultimately it gets listed on your pharmacy benefit as it costs your insurance $100. Like, both the middleman and the payer are taking advantage of the difference between the 100 that you see as the consumer and the $1 it actually costs to make the drug. And so I think frustration over that spread and the lack of transparency in drug prices, when I think fundamentally people still kind of believe that healthcare is somewhat of a right, and so when it feels like they're being exploited or they need these life-saving medications and can't understand the difference in what it costs and what they're paying for it, I think that's where you start to see people finding ways to make money through that. And so I think transparency is basically the world kind of committing, saying we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to exploit the difference between the cost and what we sell it for.
So this represents then, like when you frame up transparency as a movement, there was the charge masters that the hospital charge masters that happened earlier. Then like a lot of the work that we've done in collaboration for startups has been around the payer negotiated rate transparency files back in 2024, I believe. And now we have this next incident. What do you see? Like you highlighted the frustrations from consumers and others. What do you see as like speaking to our fam of healthcare founders and things like that? Is there an unlock here or something that now they can focus on or change in a different way?
I don't know as much as an unlock. I mean, I think what the articles are saying is that the PBMs are going to start to do this unlock for the members in terms of now you can clearly see like what the actual cost of the thing is. I mean, you have to hope at some point that, you'll be able to, like, at point of care, see exactly the best price for these drugs and where to get them from. But I think, we've sort of already been on that path. If you've used a good RX or even, we used to have a tool like a point of care assist, back in my United days where you could see the price at the pharmacy. And so I don't, maybe it's just an about time. Like, it's about time that we have it now is kind of really where I felt about this. And I don't think United is actually even the first payer to commit to more transparency in the pricing, which, great for United for following on. But hopefully it just means lower costs for everyone or the ability to better shop for care.
Great. Well, it is a meaningful impact when such a big player moves and follows on, because hopefully there's a market dynamic where transparency is a requirement. Like it is about time that we move away from the opacity, and I guess we're just seeing seeing it drop one by one, right?
Yeah, and hopefully we see. Even with inflation, we just mean now the drugs that people need are cheaper, right? And you think of things like insulin, you think of like what people are spending right now on GLP-1s, and it's really challenging.
Yeah, I mean, healthcare needs every bit of help that it can get in terms of putting the consumer at the center, making people feel appreciated and seen, like as they go through these extremely difficult journeys in their life.
I know. It reminds me of our friend Terry, right? Like, do you think, we didn't ask her this, but do you think she had even a sense of like what all her cancer medications would cost her during her journey? We should bring her back and ask her, right? And like how horrible that's one of the things you actually have to think about when you embark on a journey such as cancer.
Yeah, let's bring Terry back for a discussion around this, because like when I ask about an unlock, there's the kind of procedural transactional stuff, but then there's like, if you have this complex care navigation scenario and you have no way of understanding what the costs are going to be. I mean, and Terry, for those that don't know, go back a few episodes and you can find where we talked to a friend of mine who's also a healthcare executive who is struggling with cancer right now. But yeah, it's really time to address the patient perspective, put the patient at the center. And for the folks out there who work in data, especially like one of my clients is very heavy on like managing and reprocessing claims, making sure that those can be processed on time. Never forget that this isn't just somebody looking at a spreadsheet or looking at prices here. On the other end, anytime that we see these data transactions go through, it's because someone is going through an extremely difficult experience trying to better their lives.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the last piece on this is when we think about like the share of wallet that maybe is going towards meds. I should have pulled the statistic, but I think hopefully if you have to pay less for the drugs that you need now, which will be great, or at least have options when you see that the price is higher, you know where to go for a lower cost. That means hopefully there's more things you can spend, more dollars that are available to spend on like prevention and more of the wellness, so that we can really shift the world from, which would be my dream, from like a sick care system to like a wellness care system. Because I just think if you can get ahead of all of this, you don't necessarily need all these meds. There's some cases where you need them, but a lot of times we're taking meds because we didn't do something for our health earlier on.
Yeah, totally agree that it's that healthcare versus health fix type system, and I like your thought on invest in wellness and invest in the overall care. So with that, do we want to jump on to forward deployed engineers?
Such an interesting topic. So I was saying earlier, it's not a word that was kind of in my vocabulary as much this last year. I heard it a little bit again, but it's kind of a little bit of, for me, a blast from the past, going back to some of my product lives and others. And, I'd say the last 4 years, I don't think I've heard that, the word very much, but you're deep in it, Chris. Why don't you share a little bit about like what you just wrote about and, how forward deployed Chris is making an impact in the world.
Let's do a little bit of a history lesson with it, but the main thing is like the big narrative that we hear around jobs and technology right now are around big concerns and fears about layoffs at a lot of our big companies, and like when you're on the streets, then a lot of people are throwing around terminology like permanent underclass. But when you look at the postings for forward deployed, the job postings for forward deployed engineers since September, according to this article from Fast Company, it's saying that there has been an 800% increase in demand for this role. Now, every time a new acronym comes about, because like forward deployed engineer, that is FDE, you're going to see the term FDE a lot. I always think that there's a little bit of a loss. There's a bunch of different people trying to make it their own in their own way. So a little bit of lineage there is that Palantir started that terminology back in 2011 as kind of a rebrand of this solutions consulting and integrations role, where these folks, rather than being directly in the product engineering hierarchy, they were deployed directly working alongside clients. In a lot of the literature that you'll end up reading, you'll see various definitions. So it could be something more general, like you're an engineer that's deployed working directly alongside a client, or it might go a little bit deeper to say that you are actually reporting into a business operations team or a services team that doesn't have the engineering, data science, tech, or AI engineering capabilities, and you're building for them and deploying that tech within their platform. That's kind of where the article that I wrote that's linked down there leans. And there's also another definition, because you see a really big interest in it from Anthropic and OpenAI, that they're deploying these FDE, these forward deployed engineers, so that they can have, oh, this is an OpenAI engineer embedded on your team. So, the friendly version is now you have somebody who's an AI expert to help you out with these decisions and things like that. But the conflict of interest bell just rings in my head when I hear about something like that. Like, oh, so whose AI are they going to be suggesting? Is it going to be what's necessarily best for the client, or is it going to be for the company that they represent? So, like in these three flavors, there's just different types of. Go ahead.
Well, it's like when the Kirby vacuum cleaner, the Cutco knives person shows up at your house to sell you a vacuum cleaner or a set of knives. You gotta know. It's like they're not going to be like, "Hey, here's my Electrolux vacuum," or here's my I don't know. I don't cook, so some knife brand that's important. Not Cutco, right? I mean, so there's a little bit. I guess you always have to consider your source. I think the piece that, let's get away from like the bias, if we can. The interesting part is, I think as a champion of Agile for years, any time where you actually move an actual coder or someone that is technical into the business and divide the divide between the two organizations, like I am cheering for that, so if forward deployed engineers means that business and tech are coming closer together, I'm cheering for that.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we outline in the relationship that co-wrote an article with a client of ours, Heather and Aaron. And we talked about what that relationship. Heather's amazing.
Shout out to Heather. Shout out to Heather. Like, she's a business and technical person all in one. I think that's so great.
Yes. And she had has that deep agile experience, but what we ended up doing with this health plan was kind of going in a new direction with it, because we kind of walked backwards into this FDE concept. Whenever I took on that role, there was nobody saying, "Hey, we need this FDE type experience." It just kind of like they were bringing a data scientist and AI engineer into a team that was not on the technical side, wasn't on the like part of the IT infrastructure, was separate from that, but they were needing tools that were being built out in terms of building out a data science infrastructure and building APIs to serve products that ultimately became a deployed software product. So it was a really unique experience, but like what we were really responding to was just the need of the moment. The need of the moment being annual enrollment is coming up in less than 3 months, and we need to deploy our analytics much faster than like setting up the whole agile and Scrum process would go and grow.
Can you believe that there are still places, Chris, that it's even slower than that? Like, some places you actually have to request capital like a year behind when you actually need to do the work. And so,
Oof.
right? I mean, you have these two extremes of this whole like waterfall, capital flows down from, on high, and you've got to put in your ticket and your request to use that capital, you know, a year ago to be able to use it now. I'm not sure a model like that is going to survive the pace of change that we're living in.
Yeah, we're talking like if you have like a big like the biggest period of your year is coming up for folks that aren't familiar with health plans, like annual enrollment, open enrollment season. When that time comes up, it is all hands on deck. And if you're having like having challenges with accuracy or what have you, any kinds of challenges, that needs to be addressed fast. And if something was discovered 5 months prior, that 1 year waiting process, or even like the time that it takes for a lot of agile projects to spin up, that like the average for deployed software there was, I believe, 9 to 18 months. So if the problem is 3 months, it just demands this different kind of like more open, like more engineer in the trenches type approach.
I feel sorry for our business people in some way.
Why is that?
Well, because I don't know that right now in the world where AI is kind of moving, that you can be like a true business person now without really starting to have at least a foundational understanding of AI. That's just that is Melissa's very, very hot take. But like, I think those of us that don't, like, you've got a bias in some ways because you are a data scientist, right? So like you can only see data as data, but there's so many business people, I think, that don't understand data structure and don't understand requirements in that way. And I think you need at least some conversant knowledge of like how it works. You can't just be siloed anymore. And the good thing is, I think with AI, we can challenge ourselves about this for sure. But I think the good thing with AI is maybe you don't need to have to be a coder anymore to like start to understand technology, or even to ask ChatGPT or Perplexity or choose your weapon. You could start to like ask the AI questions about the technology, so you can start to learn technology if you were never a technologist. But I think it's so important, if you don't want to end up with bad things, to potentially
Oh
like
yeah.
know your tech in a different way now.
So yeah, and very often I'm embedded or working on the tech side. I can kind of sniff out what's going on the other end. But you work with so many different companies and have been in so many places. What are some, like, when you say you feel sorry for business people? What are some of the risks or some of the problems that you've seen that may have been the result of a lack of AI literacy?
Yeah, I mean, things that you fight against, bias. I mean, there's bias, like you come up with the wrong conclusion, you solve the wrong problem. You don't understand the magnitude of the problem that you're solving because you didn't go into the data, or, I think there's so much bad that could come of it. And so maybe I'll flip it a little bit to like the good. What I'm loving about business people that also have a lens of technology in them, or a slice of technology in them, is like they'll be like, well, I was really struggling with this problem and I couldn't figure out how to integrate these three, data streams. So, over the weekend, I just, got with my Claude, and all of a sudden I built this prototype. Would you like to see it? Do you think it solves the problem? I just think there's so much more like speed now to action than there ever was. And that's probably the piece that I'm so excited about. Like, look what I built over the weekend. It's pretty cool.
I get excited to see those projects too, and the reason is because, like, well, if I come in with just pure data science expertise, but I don't have the same, like, whenever I started the project with Heather, I didn't have nearly any of her knowledge about the provider data management world.
Oh, you didn't
So
understand about a provider directory? I mean, like, you didn't grow up knowing about like how the provider directory works, Chris?
they didn't teach that in school. So I'm coming in from with a different kind of gap in that scenario, which was like the domain expertise gap. So if there is some unifying factor where people with domain expertise can better communicate with the people with the technology, stats, data, and AI expertise, and I apply that to my days at Wobot, working with like clinical psychologists in the digital mental health space. I'm nothing. Teams are nothing without like taking that domain expertise and applying it thoughtfully. The risk though that I see, and well that I'm seeing among people, is when they will pose their, like, it would be like if I said, "Oh, Melissa, you're an expert in payer strategy, but I've got Claude now, so I'm just going to ask all my questions to that."
Well, people are
And
doing that though.
yeah, yeah. So the funny quote that I heard, I forget who said it. I wish I could tell it. I wish I could shout you out, but it was AI is terrible at the things that I'm good at, but great at the things that I'm not good at. And the joke behind it is that like there's people that are over relying on something that's putting out these probabilistic results without doing the proper research, back checking, and things like that. Because like if I'm working with, like, let's say Claude Code, for example, and it's telling me to do something, I can know when whatever it's telling me is bullshit. But a lot of people end up get caught up in traps. So the risk that I see is when people think too much of it. They think that they think that it can do no wrong. It's called automation bias, where they just 100% completely trust these outputs, and then that becomes impositions they make on their teams, and it hurts their communication strategies and things like that. That's where I see some of the harms from it.
Yeah, it's like I think we can't forget how important our critical thinking skills are. Hopefully that we learned in elementary school. Like, this output comes out. Should I question it? Yes.
So
trust but verify.
And it's hard because people are getting these conflicting messages. Like, I'm very against AI hype and all that, but I don't want to like come off as like being some kind of gatekeeper when it comes to this stuff. But it's just that the messages are so conflicting. You've got these very smart, very well-dressed CEOs up here saying that these things are achieving consciousness and they're extremely brilliant and they're going to replace all jobs, etc. And like that's giving people this thought that, oh, well, extremely smart people from MIT and Stanford designed this stuff, so I should trust trust everything that it says, or I'm going to be left behind. Like, people are they're getting this experience of like this knowledge that's overhyping it, overselling it, and like the learnings out there, or the way it's being taught or proliferated, just isn't really conducive to people going about it in a smart way.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I have been sort of wanting to push myself and test myself a little bit more in this space. I'm kind of getting lapped by my mom, Chris, in terms of like she's taken the time to really apply her ChatGPT tools to the things that she does every day. And so I don't have as much time to be able to do that, but one of the things I thought I might have the time to do is to like try one of the courses, because if I did that, then I could block my course time, and as I'm doing the course, I could like try to apply some of the things that I was learning. But I didn't have a good lens on like, should I try the master class? Should I try, Jim Bob's AI course that I see on Instagram? Do you have any thoughts there? Because I definitely want to I don't know if it's catch up. I think I was in the top 1% of all ChatGPT users, so I'm using it. I'm just not using the co-work function probably as much as I could.
My thought is, like I don't really approach it from that angle, like the going and learning how to use Chat GPT type focus, but I've been curious about how how those courses proliferate and what they're putting out there. So I did, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I did want to audit one of those courses. I hope maybe the audience might have some suggestions
Thoughts?
thoughts and suggestions on a good one to audit, because like I was thinking about what like if I were to make such make a course aimed at people who are going to be using LLMs, the types of things that I would focus on, and I was going to kind of write that out as a menu and see how many of those that a pretty decent course touched on, and where it may have expanded my interest or my mind in terms of how to use some of these tools.
Yeah, I would say
But I wanted to... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go. No, go. You go.
I just wanted to audit, do that audit, and then maybe spend an episode reviewing it for the benefit of our folks.
Yeah, and I think like maybe we represent 2 points of view. Like I would say I'm in no category would I ever consider myself an AI utilization expert yet. I think you might actually be. And so I could represent the novice and you could represent the more skilled and seasoned data scientist. And then should we take the same class or should we take different ones, or should we ask the audience?
I'm inclined to take the same class.
Okay, that'd be kind of fun.
The like can meet like, or we can ask the audience.
And maybe we do two. We'll do two. We'll ask the audience, and we'll end up taking two. We'll both take it, and then we'll have like 2 points of view.
I can't do two.
Do one and then do the other.
Okay, one. Okay.
Yeah, we do it sequentially. We'll do it sequentially, right? Like.
There we go. Yeah, sequentially we can make that work. But so that would be more on the usage side. We technically we are running an AI course. Did you know that? Like, because our book club that meets every week, there's a book, Causal AI, and I've spoken about it on the podcast before. It's too late. If anybody who wants to join right now, it's too late. But we love the book so much. We're on chapter 10 right now. I think it's 14 chapters. So once we're finished, we're going to open up another round of it in there with a AI researcher and a machine learning engineer, and we're just going to do it again just because it's that good of a book. It's like just giving me such fuel, and actually even in that link on the link that I shared on FDEs that I sent to you, in that there's actually an AI model that we that I developed with the causal AI techniques. I didn't talk about it. I didn't mention that, hey, this is an AI model, but yeah, there's actual AI that's implemented into that article that it's just there. It's not being sold. It's just there.
How much of your day would you say is spent like agentically versus your brain doing all the work?
My brain, doing all the work, right? Like I have to make decisions and
like how many agents do you have running right now?
None.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I like to do things in small chunks. So if I'm starting up, if I'm spinning up a project, let's use the price transparency project, the recent price transparency project. There's already an infrastructure, already a framework that I've designed for this price transparency work that sometimes you hit me up with. But there was a additional request around, well, great that we can get this distribution of prices based on DRG codes, but based on CPT codes. I'm sorry, but we want to see that now just limited to licensed clinical social workers. So within the code base, there's a whole lot of different steps and things there's this complex pipeline that is having to do to break down these payer machine readable files. But I spun up an agent to just to like identify a pathway and a plan to build out something something in a repeatable way that could get me that ability to filter down by career, by professional, repeatedly, so that if that request ever came in again, it would take it down from a multi-hour job to a multi-minute job. So it like whatever the task is, I'll spin up something to identify a plan and a strategy, then evaluate that, because we're dealing with code, and if I were to put out something that gave the wrong price distribution, then your customer would not be able to like negotiate properly. So there's the agent part, there's the evaluation part.
Yeah, so like I would say I'm still probably only, I don't know, 30 minutes of the day kind of using probably repeatable tools on things that I could. So I would like to increase that. Like, so that will be one of my KPIs, is like the things I repeatedly do, like, we'll use an example, like putting out a proposal, right? I mean, I use a proposal template, but I'm not using an agent. I bet I could make a co-work agent, and I could give it some inputs, and say, update this, update that, right? So that's some of the things that I'd like to get from doing the coursework, is because I do think there's a divergence right now. There are like the masters that are like co-working their whole business, which I think is great. I'm not there all the way yet. And then I think there's people that aren't even touching it in an agentic way. I think they're like using it like a Google. And I'm probably closer to the using it like a Google, and I'd like to be more closer to like the agentic workforce kind of person.
I think the main thing to consider, my opinion, is what parts of the day, like what do you miss on, and what do you suck at? Like what's really
Well, this is half my problem, because goes to exactly what we talked about. So when I created this new world, if you will, I made all those happy faces around the things of my day that I like and the things that I don't. And so I tried to give myself way more happy faces than I do sad faces. And so I don't have a lot of sad faces right now. But I think I need to make like agent faces. Like, these are the things where I would like the agents to be doing. And these are the things, and then I'll have oversight of the agents. And I think there's a Sherm article I'll forward along if I can find it. But it's like, I would like my own team of agents, Melissa bots, and I'm going to have the Melissa bots running around doing things that like allow me to do even more smiley face things.
So you're looking to have agents eliminate the sad face things,
and potentially some of the happy face things, so that I can do even more happy face things.
Cool. Because once you're down to just a bunch of happy faces, well, it's which one has the bigger smile.
Exactly. So well said. And I might even need the Melissa bots to say, Melissa bots, help me understand what gives me more happiness, so that I can prioritize that joy.
Are there any sad face examples?
I'll give you like, so this actually is probably a good one, right? So like doing my billing is a moment of sad face for me. I don't know why. Like, I should like it. I like money, right? So, like when you do the billing, you get the money. And so, but what I found is like, it was not top of license for me. So I farmed out the billing to my mother, who then farmed out some of the billing to her chat GPT that she calls Miss Ledger. And so mom automated her part of the sad face, right? And, she does a great job at it. She was a medical biller for years, right? So she was better suited to do the billing than I. I got to just peel that off my plate almost entirely.
Okay, so you got your mom went in and helped knock out the task. What step? So what did ChatGPT actually do in the billing process?
Well, like in the bookkeeping, ChatGPT can tell you how to actually do your entries, right? So like, I do believe we'll have to bring her on the show and ask her. But I do believe like she now has like a data file and she can press a button and then it auto generates the invoices for her, gets them all ready and such, which is great. Like it probably took, I don't know, 3 hours down to 20 minutes of just review and such. But even more so of what she's been doing is like she taught herself bookkeeping entries by using the like almost the Google part of the Chat GPT. Like, hey, Melissa went on a trip, and how much of what's the debit and what's the credit, and what should she be doing? And it was actually quite good. And she ran it by the CPA, and the CPA approved all the ways in which it told her to do the QuickBooks. So cool, I'm like, that's cool. Pretty awesome.
I get that she used ChatGPT and learned QuickBooks using that. That's cool. I mean,
it's kind of cool, right? I mean, it's kind of like you can learn new skills doing this, and I'm like, I'm going to carve out more of my time to learn new skills using ChatGPT and others, and then you can automate yourself once you learn it.
Now, my only counter argument would be that QuickBooks, or like in my case, Odoo, but you have more complicated billing than I do probably. Like as far as the tool use and understanding how to use their platforms, some of them have some really good documentation out there where like sitting down, you get stuck on a concept and all that, and it's just right there. But ChatGPT, of course, is pulling from that documentation where you can prime it with that context and add like specific targeted questions for things that you don't understand.
Or move it in a format for your learning style, which I think is the most interesting part,
Yeah, and you might actually have some fun doing this. I don't know if there are any integrations that you might be needing, but there's always the option of using Zapier, or if there is like there was an integration on my website where I wanted people who fill out the subscribe form to just automatically go into my CRM, which is Odoo. And rather than like I didn't want any of Odoo's web hooks being built on the website, but I also like the API that they were that they exposed to do this was kind of dated, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time learning it. So used Claude to develop some tests for it, and had it assist in building out that integration. Rather than just rather than doing all that by hand. And now anytime anybody goes to the website, subscribes, then it just automatically logs to the CRM. So some good stuff out there.
I love that. See, that's the exactly kind of thing that I want to get from this course challenge that we're going to do. So now we just have to find one.
Okay. Well, someone suggest a fun one for us that won't make us sad, and
no sad faces. No sad faces.
We want to eliminate sad faces with that.
Amazing. Well, should we pop culture it a little bit?
I think so. And like I was thinking all about our topics and all that, but yeah, talk to me about what has been fueling you. Especially you've been down a little bit sick. What's been keeping you up and keeping it from not going to all that sad face stuff?
Well, remember how we had so many happy faces with The Handmaid's Tale, both of us.
Yes.
The Handmaid's Tale has a sequel. It's The Testaments, and I am loving The Testaments. Just love it. So it is the story of June's daughter as she navigates coming of age, puberty in Gilead. And our favorite Aunt Lydia is back. She runs the school for girls, and you're just waiting for the explosive moment when she realizes the subversive control of Gilead. I'm in episode 7, I think. So I won't spoil it for others, but just loving it. It's getting me through the illness. So many happy faces.
I want those happy faces. I want those specific ones soon. We haven't finished the first series yet.
Okay, so gotta get on that. So we
need
can talk
to catch
about it.
Yeah, I am so jealous.
What about you?
Mine is like a few episodes ago, a while back, maybe sometime last year, I recommended that people go out and do stuff in the local community, go to shows,
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah. So a friend of mine told me that some artists that he knows and love had their stuff up at this exhibit at a place called Sanctuary in Detroit, which is kind of like this, like it's a temple. It used to be a church, but it got converted into a music venue. And let me tell you, like going upstairs and seeing this like immersive art experience they created, and all of this like music and visuals and stuff like that coming together from all these Detroit artists is some of the most beautiful stuff that I've ever seen. Like
Aw,
it was that great.
I love that. I love that. Is it still open? It's open for a while?
It was only a 2 day thing, but the
Uh,
main thing that just wanted to remind people again, like along with the stuff that we can consume digitally and all that, you get out and you go to stuff that's of your interest. Like I went to another art gallery on Friday night and met some cool people there. So just that reminder to get out, get into whatever kind of scene or types of things that you're interested in, and meet your peoples face to face.
I went to a gala this weekend, and they had a little pop-up bar. It was not like the Wild. It was the Wild of the casino, but it was like a secret garden bar, and it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh, like nature at a casino.
What was the gala about?
Um, oh, it was a healthcare gala for type 1 diabetes. So it was
Wow.
great. It was like raising money. I love stuff like that. It's like so fun and feels like such a good cause. I was bidding on tickets, but I didn't win. It was fine.
Mm.
Sad face, but it was so nice to get dressed up. It was rainforest theme, fancy. It's fun.
I saw one of the Instagram photos.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, you really brought it with that. You and
Aw,
Don brought it
thanks,
with the fit.
Bam. Thanks, Bam. Don told me this fun fact, and maybe we'll close with this, that he is actually not on the internet. He wiped himself off the internet. Isn't that so fun? So he gets mad sometimes when I overpost. He's like, I've done so much to take myself off the internet, and you're so out there.
Oops. Oops. I shouldn't have
Oops.
said the name.
Oops. Yeah, it's
Sorry,
fine.
Don.
It's
You're
fine.
back.
It's fine. Don's overseas. He won't hear this episode. Bye,
Okay.
Don.
Well, thank you so much, and gosh, looking forward to digging deeper. I mean, we got so many things on the agenda. We got such good response from the from that startup deep dive that we did.
We gotta do it again.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
We gotta do it again. It was so fun, fam. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for hanging out with us. And just remember, more happy faces.
Yes, more happy faces, and hang out with us on Discord. All right, y'all.